question from Gita Mataji. I have a friend who is connected with a Christian preacher who says that Jesus Christ is the only way to heaven and Hinduism is a lie of the devil. So how do we respond to this? Answer: in general, every religion has certain statements which are exclusivist. So broadly, if you look at the statements in religions, they can be said to be exclusivist, pluralist and inclusivist. Exclusivist means my way is the only way. And these sort of statements are given primarily to kindle faith in the followers. So yes, Jesus did say that I am the way and none shall go to the Father except through me. So now he has been made eternally into the only way to God. But such an idea limits God's mercy to only one way. If God is unlimited, why should his mercy be limited to only one way? So this idea that my religion is the only true religion and my way is the only way to God, this is a very primitive and childish idea. And people who cannot see the authentic spirituality, the deep profound saintliness, the great love of God that people in other traditions are also having. It is only those who close their eyes to the spirituality, the saintliness and the devotion that is there in other traditions. Only such people can somehow hold on to this belief that my way is the only way. So the intention of statements like I am the only way is benevolent, but its consequences turned out to be malevolent. The intention was what? That suppose a patient goes to a doctor and that patient states that, oh, I went to this doctor and this doctor said this, and I went to this doctor and this doctor said this, and this person is just caught up in all those ideas. So the doctor made it just forget everything that everyone else has said, just do what I am telling you, you will become cured. So now when a doctor makes such a statement, it is not meant to reject all other doctors as false. It is simply meant to create focus in the patient so that the patient can take this particular treatment and become cured. Similarly, statements like I am the only way, the point of the statement is to inspire one-pointed faith, to extrapolate from there and to claim that all other ways are false. This is unwarranted and undesirable extrapolation. So we don't have to feel insecure by such narrow-mindedness that some people might exhibit. We understand that God is unlimited and His grace is also unlimited. And that's why He manifests His grace in many, many ways. Now, traditionally, Christians have had this approach towards all other religions, or whatever they call as other gods. So whenever they see anybody worshipping any god other than what they consider as the true God, then they consider it as a false god. But the point is, if one objectively considers the qualities of God that are described in the Indian scriptures. For example, if you look at the Bhagavad Gita, now in the 10th chapter, if you look at Aksharana Makarosmi, I am the letter A. Adishya Madhyam Cha Bhutana Madhyam. Krishna says, I am the beginning, the middle and the end of all things. So in the Bible, God says that I am the Alpha and the Omega of all things. So now, essentially, if we see the attributes of the one God that are described in the Bible are strikingly similar to the attributes of the one God who is described in the Bhagavad Gita. So actually, it is the same one God that is being worshipped. And the point is, if only by closing one's eyes to the spiritual truths that are there in other traditions, can some narrow-minded Christians hold on to the idea that their way is the only way to God. That same one God has manifested Himself in many forms and has provided many ways so that people can become elevated. God is so eager for people to come back to Him that He manifests again and again. Sambhavami yuge yuge. So historically, Christians have adopted three broad ways. One is demonization, second is irrelevance, and third is fulfillment. So demonization means that, oh, these are parts of the demon, and so the gods of Hinduism are actually the forms of the devil, and if you follow them, you'll go to hell. Especially when Christians came to India during the rule of the East India Company. So initially they used the strategy of demonization and they found that there was no effect. Very few Hindus actually converted to Christianity. So then they went from that strategy of demonization to irrelevance. They said that, oh, we Christians, our religion is scientific religion, and our religion is there to the progress of humanity. Just see the science and technology, and your religion, it believes in so many old-fashioned, outdated, unscientific things. So it may have been true at one time, but it is not true. It is not relevant right now. So Christianity is the more relevant religion. So this is how they tried to attract people from Hinduism to Christianity. And currently, many missionaries use the idea of fulfillment. Fulfillment theology is that other religions may help people to develop some good qualities so that their spiritual growth can become fulfilled when they come to Christianity. For example, in Pune there is a Gyandeep School of Theology, which is a seminary for training young Christians to become priests. So their idea is that they have the symbol of various Hindu gods, and they have Krishna at the top of all these gods, and all this is like a deep, a lantern or a light, and then out of the flame is coming out Jesus. So their idea is by worshipping all the other gods, you will ultimately come to the level of worshipping Jesus. So rather than demonizing Hindu gods, they consider that the worshipping of the Hindu gods is a progressive way to come to the worship of the one true God through Jesus. So these are all different strategies that different Christian missionaries use when they encounter other religions. If they completely close their eyes to the other religions, then they can continue to believe that there is no spiritual worth in other religions. And this was the dogmatic belief that the Catholic Church held on to till it came to Pope John Paul II. And during his times, and slightly before him, the Catholic Church did see a significant change. And now they say that we accept as well all that is true and good in other religions as having spiritual worth. And there are Christians who also appreciate the spirituality in other religions. So there are Hare Krishna devotees who have done interfaith conferences with Christians. Anuttama Prabhu is a pioneer. He's worked on the Christian Vaishnava dialogues, and as there has been interaction, many Christians who had grown up with this belief that our religion is the only way to God, when they see in the bhakti expressions of the great saints within the Vaishnava tradition, they have acknowledged that this is very similar, in fact in some ways deeper than what is there in Christianity. They may not say this in public, sometimes they do say it. So you have to look at the spiritual ideals of Christianity, you have to look at the spiritual ideals that are given in the bhakti tradition especially, and then one can see that it is the same one true God that is being worshipped. So I have written an article called There Is Much That I Have to Tell You. The similarities and the significant differences between Christianity and the Vaishnava path of Bhakti, I've discussed them over there. Thank you. Hare Krishna.